I 27M showed insecurity to her 28F for the first time in 5 years and she looked very distant now. Hi, we've been together for 5 years. We've been through a lot. We've changed jobs and just moved. We're both getting into new things and we've been under a lot of stress. We don't go out much to drink together. We don't have many friends, but she recently asked me to go out for a drink with her colleagues. It was 3 or 4 weeks ago. I saw him disinhibited dancing for the first time and I was not comfortable. A guy started to flirt with her in front of me. It triggered an old trauma I had with my ex. She cheated on me, humiliated me multiple times and had a very serious affective dependence. I tell her about that, about my fear to see her changed and doesn't like me anymore. She tried to reassure me, but she seemed worried that she could no longer be free and feel caged. I told her that I would never ask her to limit herself and that I had to work on myself. I started to be a little bit parano, but knowing it can come from me because I know exactly what was happening to me. I failed again 5 days later. I cried in his arms saying that I needed his help for a while to get through this moment. I said a lot of dramatic things to her, asking things like we'll never betray each other, right? I wasn't in my normal state. I think my brain literally gone 10 years back to my previous toxic relationship. She seemed very uncomfortable and tell me she doesn't know what to tell me. She told me that the fact that I'm afraid that she doesn't love me anymore scares her. That she has seen her feelings evolved, that she knows it's normal, and wonders if it can still evolve in a bad way. At this moment I had a red flag in my head and stopped to cry completely. I felt I was hurting our relationship and want to prevent serious escalation. I said that I think most relationships go through this kind of phase, but she has to communicate and don't hesitate to tell me about it, because I'm very open and can understand her feeling. Also, we talked a little bit about children. She tell me something like, one day I imagine have a house and children and the next day I can't and I'm not sure I want. I tell her if it's something that stress her we can stop talking and doing joke about that. It's not for now, so she doesn't have to really think about that for now. She tell me she doesn't want to lose my time if I want children. I tell her between children and her I chose her 1,000 times. After that I went for a walk alone. I signed up for the gym. I tried to fight my insecurity alone. I started to smoke too. But now she seems really distant. But I'm not sure if it's because I'm paying more attention or not. She no longer asks me for a hug, a caress, or to spend time with me. She no longer runs her hand through my hair. She no longer takes me in her arms in bed. She no longer send me cute emoji on Telegram. We lost our habit to have quality time before going bed, just cuddling in front of TV show. But it's very weird because some days, when I act distant too because I think she needs more space and I don't want to asphyx her, and fall into the pattern of giving her affection to test if she gives it back, it look like she want to connect more. She puts her cushion so that she gets closer to me, or puts her hand on my chest, little sign like that. Last weekend she buy me a figurine of my favorite manga for no reason, and the same time I bought her a rose and we even had time. But the following days, she feel distant again. I feel really uncomfortable with her and don't know how to behave. But in the same time, when I tell her I'm starting to feeling alone, because I'm now in full remote since 3-4 months and doesn't see very much people, and my girlfriend use her free time alone, so it's a little bit difficult, she had absolutely no reaction. I tell her in a natural way, not awkward. Yet 2 years ago she already experienced this exact situation. She was unemployed and doesn't have friends, let me know about her feelings, even blamed me for it, and I had made the effort to comfort her and spend more time with her. Whenever she felt neglected, I always apologized and made sure to take care of her even if I didn't agree. I always put her before me, probably too much. It seems that today the situation has reversed, but I don't have her temper. I don't know how to push her to react, and she doesn't have mine. I'm not sure she would react well. When I started to smoke she asked me why. I said because I feel very anxious, and she doesn't ask me why. Same, when I smoked last night, she was very angry, I'm not hiding. But she hadn't noticed that it had become every day and tell me, don't you have anything smarter to do? I tell her I know it's not smart, but it helped me to live with my current anxiety without making her carry the weight of my discomfort. She said nothing, but she stopped to be angry. I'm completely lost. I don't know if I expect too much from her, if I broke something, if I created discomfort, if in fact everything is fine and it's in my head. Maybe I just realized my own dissatisfactions. I don't know how to communicate with her, and the more the days pass the more difficult it seems and the less I felt her interested in me and our relationship. Do I activated some kind of defense mechanism in her? Do I need to be patient and let the time goes, or break the silence loudly? Our relationship looked awesome. What is ducking happening? Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1. I think you two need to sit down and have a conversation about everything that has happened recently. Be completely honest and see where the other is coming from. From her perspective, I can see where your very intense feelings and quick behavior changes could seem almost like a complete 180 and she doesn't know what to do. You've been together for 5 years, and people change over time, which is completely natural. I believe it's possible to get through this rough patch, but only if you are completely honest with each other. Couples therapy may also help. Answer: thanks a lot for your advice. I think you're right, but now I need to figure out the right moment to have this conversation and how to engage to maximize openness. Redditor 2, absolutely 100% you need a serious conversation. A sit down that talks about both of your feelings and desires. Try not to make the focus point every reply about you. First validate what her feelings and concerns are, then voice yours. Since she already knows a bit about how you feel, and you're wanting to know about how she feels, it'll be a good idea to start with her first so your answers don't sway her opinions, thoughts and desires. You'll want to speak about things like troubled areas in the relationship and what she feels could be improved, what she sees the relationship ending in, whether it's marriage or a more concerning answer like I don't know. Talk about what her ultimate goals are for her life and try to pinpoint if those goals are compatible with the lifestyle you guys are living right now. You guys have been together long enough now that a touch-base conversation like that is needed to figure out if your personal growths are still aligned. People grow, they change their ideals and their plans for the future. Sometimes that means you no longer share the same ideals and plans. You need to figure that out first and foremost before you start slipping into a mental state where you're walking on eggshells in fear of the suspicions that she might not see a future with you. It's better to know for sure than to torment yourself with the mere possibility. Answer: you're probably right, but I wanted to let the time goes a little bit so I had time to overcome my trauma, be clearer in my head, and give him time to digest if it ever upset him. But now I have a hard time to decide of the right moment to discuss, and how to manage the discussion, because she doesn't look like very open to me. I feel like it's going to annoy her. She isn't comfortable talking with her feeling, more with her thoughts, so I need to be cautious about how I ask question. Anyway, thank you very much for your reply, it helped me a lot. Redditor 3, sounds like it's the smoking TBH. Some girls really hate the smell and think it's very unattractive, but maybe she doesn't want T to say anything. BC, she see that it might help you, but she might also feel like she's the reason you anxious. BC, you can't trust her. Honestly, if I was you, I'd have a conversation with her, tell her how you feel and why you feel that way, but you trust and love her. You're also the man in the relationship. You grab her to cuddle, message her cute things, play with her hair, bring the spark back. Done. Be a scared little bitch, forget what happened to you, and when you fall down the hole of endless thought and worry she might be doing the same, then before freaking out or expecting her to do the same, take a deep breathe and honestly meditate or water. Take time to yourself. Don't freak out on her, don't worry what she's doing. BC, if she loves you she'll stay faithful, don't make her baby you. Man up and take care of your lady. Best of luck bro, relationships suck. Answer: yeah, she hate the smell. But she saw me smoke at some occasion already, so but yeah, I know I need to be stronger and focus on me, but hell, it's hard when you are in full remote and you are thinking all the day about your relationship, and realizing how important she is and gave me the stability I needed to get where I am in my life. Since I met her, everything has worked for me. I have reached an exceptional standard of living, but in the end if I lose her I would feel like I was losing everything. But I know that's not a good thing to feel like that. Update: my girlfriend 28F broke with me 27M after 5 years but still want to live and sleep with me. We had a conversion yesterday and she told me about her feeling. She doesn't love me anymore, no particular reason, it's gone, it can't come back, nothing to do, it's the end. I was prepared since 2 weeks because she was very distant, so I handle it very well, to be honest, far better I expected. I was very sad, but relieved that this nightmare was over, to no longer live with doubt and questioning, that she had found the strength to tell me things, and imagine that it soothed her heart too. But well, things cannot be so simple. She tell me she still want to live with me, she want to be my friend. I said to myself, she's trying to reassure me that I'm not going to find myself alone overnight. I didn't want us to continue living together by default or out of pity or to avoid loneliness. So I asked her directly, do you prefer to live alone or with me? She said with me. I asked another question, do you want to live with Luna, her best friend, or with me? She said with me. I found that weird, but it was only the beginning. I wanted to sleep in the living room, and she doesn't accept it. She come multiple times to speak with me during the night, and finish by sleep with me because she doesn't want to sleep without me. And this morning she can't stop to be tactile with me, and started to cry, and told me she doesn't understand what is happening in her head because she doesn't feel the same thing as yesterday. She asked me, "You're not going to leave, are you?" I said no, but well, maybe yes, I should. It looked like she is regretting very fast, but I don't want to have hope for nothing. I don't know how to behave. It looked like she realized what she did and what she lost. But what is the value of this electric shock? Is it temporary? She says her brain sends her lots of images of what she likes about me and really doesn't understand what's going on. I told her I was really surprised by her reaction. I thought she would be relieved and start to get back to normal. But I have in front of me someone who wants to continue to live, sleep and have affection with me. That for me it is the very definition of love. That if it's a lack of time desire or something else it can be worked on. I added that it was my definition and that perhaps we did not have the same one. She said, "Yet I agree with what you say." She continued to cry and show regrets. I told her that I understood, that I've known this feeling before, of realizing the importance of things when I lose them, that it didn't matter, that she had to take the time to reflect and put her mind and ideas in order. I don't know what else to do. I just want her to be okay and know what she wants. I love her so much. But I don't want to be abused either. I'm too nice and in the end it's always me who suffers the most. Update: my 5 years girlfriend 28F suddenly broke with me 27M and rollbacked completely the next day and now I'm ducked. 2 weeks later. Well, if I take a step back, we're now back at a normal state. We had a lot of quality time and time, much more, like in our first years. She thinks it's related to stopping the pill, that she feels the urge again. But I will be honest, I feel my heart and my trust in her completely broken. I find myself having bad thoughts all the time. When I see her chatting on her phone I imagine her cheating on me. When we had time sometime I'm wondering she is thinking about someone else. As soon as I do something that annoys her, I tell myself that she no longer loves me. I'm always afraid of pushing her away by showing her too much affection. I don't dare say things that are too cute to her, with the fear that it will not be reciprocated. I watch for the slightest sign of falling out of love. I interpret everything. I know what is happening to me because I have already experienced it in my previous toxic relationship. It was very traumatic for me. Strong emotional dependence. I lend him thoughts without being able to distinguish if it is justified or if it comes only from my brain. I attribute to her the faults of my ex, the antipathy, the manipulation, the lies and the inability to face her responsibilities, whereas I considered her as her exact opposite. I no longer know who she is. I don't know if it will get better with time or worse. Another element that makes me uncomfortable is that I was planning the future with her. We were talking about moving, traveling, having children. We were starting to have money aside to make it all happen. But she closed the door to all that recently by embarking on a retraining which will cost her all her savings, and which will prevent us from leaving to live elsewhere for a long time. And I do not have the impression that I am one of her plans. We don't have any common plans, not even vacations. I don't know what to do. How can I help me get through this moment? 2 weeks ago I lost the only certainty I had in my life. I know it's very naive, but I thought we would quietly live our end of life together. She gave me all the confidence and stability I needed to succeed in life. Now I feel like my relationship is an illusion and that I have a sword of Damocles above my head. I don't dare talk to him about it, for fear that it will bother him, and break this fragile balance that we are rebuilding. Should I let the time pass and continue to take it upon myself? I tend to take my head too easily and I don't want to complicate things. For her to think that I'm weak and unstable, that she finds me boring. You see, I'm starting over. I'm projecting onto her what I think of myself. And turns to someone else with whom it would be easier. New relationships are always easier. I've always been the engine of our couple and the most stable, but I don't know if she has the shoulders to withstand my fall, especially because I think she needs simplicity and peace to manage her emotions and current anxiety related to work and her retraining. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, I really like this comment by Umoriga. I made this mistake when I was 18 and stupid. Loved a guy, then got cold feet and dumped him for 1 year. Decided I wanted him back and begged for his forgiveness. What he told me I'll never forget. He said he's always loved me, but when someone decides that isn't enough, you can't just take that back. When I wanted to get back together, all he could think about was that he didn't change as a person, but somehow my opinion had changed and changed back. He said his love wasn't enough once, and since that's all he can give me, he can't live his life wondering if there will be another time when I decide it's not enough again. He doesn't want to be with someone who needs to be convinced that he's worth it. It made complete sense to me, and it made me realize that feelings are complex. You can't just take things back in a relationship after you've damaged it. It just doesn't work that way. Redditor follow-up, that is a great comment. I will have to remember it for this girl online long distance I had a really big crush on and still do. She was way too flaky at times in the past. She has shown interest in traveling with me to other countries in the past, but I already told her it probably wouldn't work cause I don't trust her cause of how she has acted before. Really stinks cause we had so much in common and I really liked her a lot. If it wouldn't have been for her acting the way she does I would have visited her a long time ago and maybe ended up moving to where she lives, but oh well. Redditor 2, first on all your emotions are 100% valid. She did something to break trust in her relationship and it's her job to fix it and yours, but to a lesser degree. I'm not saying you need to test her or be suspicious, but it's not wrong either. On one side you might be paranoid and it might bring the collapse of the relationship, but on the other your gut might be sensing something isn't right and you need to protect yourself emotionally at a minimum. I'd vocalize your mind, that it will take time to go back to 100% and you feel like you need time to rebuild the trust that was broken. That she was willing to give up so quickly with no proper explanation is unreasonable to just be asked to be forgiven. Either she accepts her fault and works to improve things or she doesn't. But you should not jump to the next step till this is handled. No marriage, no next step. Jumping to the next stage to fix this issue will only make things worse. If the trust isn't repaired it will be the cause of a break later on. Answer, thanks for your reply, it helped me a lot. I'm afraid I forgave too easily and she'll take it for granted. Now it's my fault. I yearn so much for peace and quiet. I run away from conflict. I leave issues unresolved and I don't know how to put it back on the table. I will leave 5 days for work. I will see how I feel afterwards. Redditor 3, she doesn't love you. She just wants the emotional companionship. She'll use you until she finds someone better and more exciting. Please make a clean break ASAP. Redditor 4, you need therapy and to drop this relationship. You're not even a factor in her life plans. Get a grip on yourself. Redditor 5, this exact thing happened to me when an ex cheated on me. I found out later that the guy she cheated on me with and tried to pursue wanted nothing to do with her, so she came back apologetic and intimacy was through the roof exactly like you described. When someone pulls the plug on you for that long, there's a serious underlying problem. Might not be cheating, but no one who truly loves you can simply just stop out of nowhere. Redditor 6, wait, is there another man involved? You said, I don't dare talk to him about it, for fear that it will bother him. Who is he? Do you know if your girlfriend was cheating on you, or is he a friend you've been asking for advice? Redditor follow up, yeah, I don't get this either. Either this is a fake post or something got lost in translation. Redditor 7, you need only 2 things, time and courage. Time to figure it out, time to really understand what you both want, time to eventually rebuild trust. Courage to trust again and go through this difficult period, to accept to be sad and confused. These feelings are important, too. Be patient and kind to yourself, everything will work out in the end in one way or another.